And it looks like we are on social media's live stream on Facebook. You have the feed. It's indicating that we're live now. Praise Yodewafe. Here we are again. Even as I said, I will not be, for whatever reason. And though this is unscheduled, unplanned, here we are. Sitting here at the round table in Miami of Florida, in the United States called America, North America. We're here with an unscheduled announcement to fulfill a proclamation. Praise the Lord. And for the record, this is being recorded. Today is the second day of the 8th month of our solar calendar. That's solar year 6023. And as we are here on the east coast of the United States today of their Gregorian calendar is known throughout this planet, as some parts have already faced the next day. But on our side of this planet, we recognize this by their calendar as Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. Is that correct? For the record. Now, I come on the social media's website today that's known as, I quote, Facebook, end quote, in order to show my, quote, face, end quote, as a result of my, quote, book, end quote. So since Mark created what is called Facebook, then I think it's safe to say that I'm allowed to bring my face and my book on his social media's website. Is it safe to say that? Yes. All right, so here I am on Facebook with my face book. And my book is numbered as 33 of the King James Version Holy Bible. And that's the 1611 Authorized Edition. And that book is known as, I quote, Micah. Micah, spelled from left to right, M-I-C-A-H, Micah, end quote. When you take a look in your Bible, which I suggest you get it, grab your Bible. When you take a look in your Bible, and all the Bibles on this planet, that text that has combined that book with the other books of the Bibles. That first verse, it says that Micah is also the Morishite, whatever that is. Morishite, from Morshes Gath, wherever that is. Whoever that is, wherever that is. And he's the only one in the entire Bible that is known as the Morishite. That's M-O-R-A-S-T-H-I-T-E. Morishite. As if there's a place called Morishite. As if, an American Airlines jet or Delta jet can just fly from your airport, wherever you are, and go to Morishite or Morshes Gath. Anyway, that's not my subject. That's not our subject. And now to those that are watching, those that are viewing, those that are looking and seeing this proclamation on live stream today, right now. Even those that may be watching the recording, the video recording of this proclamation that I'm announcing and bring to this planet today. And let me at this time make it perfectly clear. I mean perfectly clear that I am In this proclamation, I am the very soul of, quote, Micah, M-I-C-A-H, Micah, end quote. I want you to also keep in mind what I taught you before. That is not the name. It is not the name, whether it be Hebrew or English, no other name, whatever name it be or whatever idiom you are in, and that you comprehend or understand. It is not the name that makes the soul, but it is the soul that makes the name. How is that? Because the soul came into existence first, and then the Son of Yahweh named that soul. That also means that anybody could come along today and take a name, as I said they would, even prophesied in the book called Isaiah, that many shall come and call themselves Jacob, another by the name of Israel, and surname themselves Israel. It's in Isaiah. But that's who they wish they could be and what they have become, opposed to who they are and where they are from. That's a difference. And there are, in fact, there are millions of people on this planet. The census count, from what I comprehended and heard of a few moments ago, said that there are at least 7.7 billion people on this planet, and that's not including those that have already died of this plague. They call it COVID-19. You're a COVID-19 liar. It's a plague. Nevertheless, it's recorded according to their count, 7.7 and counting billion people on this planet. And that's what they counted. That's not the total. There's some who are born that they cannot count. They don't even know of. Now, out of those 7.7 billion plus counting, there are millions who are carrying around from their birth certificate, on their driver license, on their report cards in school, the name Micah, M-I-C-A-H. And they also carried and being called Micah, M-I-C-A-H. And those are all bodies and souls that are carrying the name. There's only one soul that's in a body that owns the name, that refers to the name. And when you study the name Micah, then you'll know who Micah is. When you study the name and then discover how it became Micah and who Micah is in connection to Mount Ab, or should I say on their level, the God of the Hebrews, then you know how Micah is found all throughout the Bible, even from the beginning, under many different other appellations and names. You must ask yourself the question, why did they put the book called Micah in the middle of the Bible? And Micah existed before Jeremiah. But Jeremiah spoke of Micah. Micah didn't speak of Jeremiah. Go read it and see. I think it's somewhere in chapter 18 of Jeremiah. I mean, you read it on their own. You didn't read it now. It's not a part of my agenda. Micah came before Daniel. Micah came before Ezra. Micah came before Solomon, that you know of Solomon. Micah was there before Esther. Micah was there before Moses. Micah was there before Abraham. Micah was there before Noah. So why did they put Micah in the middle of the Bible? They must know something that your sleeping mind don't know. Your deep sleeping mind do not know. And this was first made clear. See, the soul that belongs to the name and the name that belongs to the soul was first made clear to all those that were in that community center that night. That community center is called Brownsville, a suburb in Miami of Florida, that night in mid to late October of 1979. As this same body that stands 6 feet in height, 4 cubits, according to Revelation chapter 21 and verse 17. As I stood in front of who was known only to us at the time as, I quote, Moses Israel, also known as Ak Moshe, end quote. That's all they knew. That's all we knew. When he told me to stand and come home to Yahweh that night. And I also read lately on the same social media website, someone made a comment. Is that the same Elder Mika that Ben Yahweh sent to Detroit? Yes. The same Elder Mika that he not only sent to Detroit, but he sent to St. Petersburg, and they told me to take over Jacksonville, and then sent me to Detroit. But one thing, I pray you can see this video, one thing you got wrong that you lied and you don't know of, you don't know. If you don't know, don't say. Is that he never took me from Detroit because I deceived women. You liar, you. You wasn't there. You don't know why he took me out of Detroit. He didn't take me out from them. He took them out from me. And he took me and removed me from Detroit because I refused to obey his commandment that he gave me to do. And I found myself being like Solomon. I found myself following the footsteps of Solomon and adding wives to myself that he told us not to do. He allowed us to get one wife. In our culture, we could have many wives, but he said, go get my children. That's what he said to do. And I found myself being trapped in a web of a lot of cobwebs of the widow spiders. Even the grand widow spider who became and are known as a witch, who is known today as a witch, who was also extracted from the temple after being and performing witchcrafts in the temple. But Moab did not remove me from Detroit because I was deceiving the women. Get it right. If you're going to get it right. I was adding women to my entourage. Because what? He even called me because I was handsome. And I was attracted to them. And they were attracted to me because I was lost. I was young. I got confused while I was there. And he told me, he warned me, Mika, if you don't move, if you swap that bee, if you swap at it, it's going to bite you. He said, it's going to sting you if you don't listen to what I say. And I did not listen and obey his voice. So I got stung. But what you refuse to realize is that Passover of 1985, when he removed me from Detroit, he was about to send me to another city to open that city and establish that city's temple. But you didn't know that, because you wasn't there. He said, I'm not sending you back to Detroit. You done messed up Detroit. Too many women. I was still only about 28 years old. I was cocky. I had an ego. I was a law enforcement. I just come out of law enforcement. Just came out. I had a 44-inch chest and a 32-inch waist. And my biceps was 18 inches in diameter. And even when I stopped women in Broward County, in Fort Lauderdale, when I stopped them and they saw me coming to the window, they pulled their dress up, sitting down and trying to entice me and not give them a ticket, but to, whatever you want to do. Just don't give me no ticket. So I wrote them 2. I wrote them 2 tickets. One for the traffic violation and one for trying to entice me. I thought of something. And I sent them on their way. Get it right. I attracted them. But I'm not here to speak of myself on that subject. I'm talking to you who are guilty You don't know why he removed me from Detroit. About to send me to another city. To start that city and do just what I did in Jacksonville and Detroit, do to that city. Why? Because I was the top elder. But because I did something foolish, before I even left the temple, I did something foolish. It takes a man to humble himself and confess. If I'm false, I wouldn't do it. It takes a man to confess today after 50 some years. After 50 years or so. 40 years. Actually 40 years. We still a generation, right? 40 years. I told you my math is bad. Don't hold me on my math. Don't hold it against me on my math. I'm the first to admit my math is terrible. Because we are now in that generation, aren't we? 1980? 1980? 2020? But as I did something foolish, before I could even get out and go back and get on the bus where he was going to send me, that April of 1985, Feast of Passover, Unleavened Bread, I told the one wife that had already had a son for me and pregnant with another one on the way, who got word that I was going back to Detroit. She heard I'm not coming back to Detroit, started crying, got word to me. I said, tell her don't cry. When I get that city established, then I'll send for her and my son and my child. And that got back to my arm, Yud Warfare. Right over my left shoulder, the same one over my left shoulder to the right of the screen that you look at right now, that you know as Yahweh ben Yahweh. It got to him and he got furious. He was upset with me, extremely upset. And that upsetness caused him to be upset with all the other elders. And because of my wounds that I experienced, they were healed. Yeah, that ain't your business what happened in the temple. Between him, Manab, and the elders and I. If you were there, you know. If you don't know, you weren't there. So don't try and guess, and don't try and figure out, because you want to boost yourself and become part of the crowd. So you want to say, is that the same Elder Mika that was in Detroit? Yes, again. Look at me. I don't look the same. Do I sound the same? You think you know me. You don't know me. You don't know me. If you know me, you'll be here with me. You don't know me. You only know about me, but you don't know nothing of me. So go ahead and talk about me and leave my ob out of your conversation. About me. You don't know me. But my ob that night in Brownsville Community Center, 1979, on a Wednesday night, mid-October, he told me to stand and come home to Yahweh. And as I stood, as he then said, quote, wow, Brother Dave, that's a big brother too, ain't it? Brother Dave was sitting right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Art Moshe. Wow. Stand it up. And then he looked at me and said, you ready to come home to your God, Yahweh? Yes, sir. That's why I'm here. I believe in the great, good, terrible, and black God, Yahweh. I just found out Sunday, sir, that God is black. And all the prophets in the Bible were black. I saw that, and I'm supposed to be working right now. But I called in sick because I got sick and tired of the lies that the white people were telling us. Yes. It made me sick. So I called in sick to the white man's job, and I came to my black God, Yahweh. He said, well, let me tell you what your Hebrew name is. He didn't say, I'm going to give you a Hebrew name. He said, quote, let me tell you what your Hebrew name is. And as I stood, he looked up at me and opened up his white Bible that he had on that podium. And he turned a couple of pages, and he looked back up at me and looked back at the Bible and turned a couple of more pages. Wet his finger. Turned a couple more pages, looked up at me and looked back down the Bible and turned one more page 4 times. A foundation. And when he looked at me and looked at the Bible, he said, okay, here's your name. See, that was God measuring his angel. Fulfilling Revelation chapter 11, verse 1. He had to read. He's the rod. He gave a reed like unto the rod. So he's the one who created it. So he measured an angel. He measured everyone came to the temple. He knows them all. He knows all his sheep by name and all his angels by name. So when he looked at me, looked at the Bible, he said, here's your Hebrew name, write it down. I grabbed something to write with. I'm ready. What is it? He said, your Hebrew name is Micah. Fulfilling Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 1. Make a note and read it. In fact, read it. Find it. Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 1. Somebody, I have angels sitting right here with me at the round table. Read it. Isaiah chapter 49 verse 1. Quote. What does that say?
Listen, O isles.
Listen, O isles.
Unto me.
Yes.
And hearken, ye people from far. Yodewape have called me from the womb.
From the womb, right here at Miami of Florida.
From the bow.
Even from the bow. See the womb right here in the valley of the shadow of death of the sun-clad woman. And from the bowels of my mother, who was right here in Miami, where I was born, has he made mention of my name. He only made mention of my name by calling me Micah. My name is not Micah. But in front of others, he only made mention of it. That's what the rest say? And what else?
2.
No, read you completed. I said it, but you completed because you quoted it.
From the bowels of my mother
Yes.
have he made mention of my name.
End quote. Toda. He looked in the Bible, he looked at me. He looked in the Bible, he looked at me. He was looking in my soul and said, your Hebrew name is Micah. I wrote it down. He said, here's how I spell M-I-C-A-H. And when he said that, everyone who was in that room, even the children, said, praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. And then he, only known as Ak Moshe, he told me the meaning of my Hebrew name by saying, now here's what your Hebrew name means, Micah. Your Hebrew name means, quote, who is like Yahweh, end quote. I wrote it down. And when he said that, every voice in that temple, even little children, again said, praise Yahweh. Yes. A different type of praise. This one was, see, the first was praise Yahweh. But the second one was praise Yahweh. Yes. Like, wow. And at the time, I was dead. I even wrote, I said, wait, begin with who? So I put a question mark at the end. Because nobody in that room that night knew who is like Yahweh. Not even me. And I bear the name. Which is not a question. If you don't believe it, then that's your problem. Then you have an adversary with yourself. You have an adversary not with me. You have an adversary with who you call Yahweh ben Yahweh. That's who your adversary is, because he the one gave me the name. So see, your gripe is not with Micah. Your jealousy is not with Micah. I did not cause you to become jealous. It's with who you call, quote, Yahweh ben Yahweh, end quote. But you didn't know that. You thought I created my own name and got out the Bible because I want to be who I am. Who you think I am, who I'm not. That's what your problem is. You want me to become somebody who you want me to become, who I cannot be because I'm already is. And that cannot change. Malachi 3:6, I change not. And now, because of my Hebrew name, which is only being known internationally today as, quote, Micah, M-I-C-A-H, end quote, I am now being called by a few supposedly men of Judah as, I quote, being false, a false prophet. That's what they say, in fact. They say that I am a false prophet. And I'm having a ball. I'm sitting back having a ball reading it. I'm ecstatic. My Ab sitting up in heaven, laughing at them in derision, as he said he would.
Yes, he is.
I am a false prophet. Some of you have got little cartoons. Put a wolf over a sheep. Some took my photo and did a Photoshop or whatever they call it, and got me as a skitty or whatever. They got a monster. I guess to get ready for Halloween. I guess I'm supposed to get ready for Halloween. For Halloween, Halloqueens, and Hallokings, I guess. And then they're making threats. They're making threats. But that's not new. That's expected. In fact, you know what? If they didn't make threats against my life, something's wrong. I got to go face the East. Ah, what's happening? They love me. They all love me. It's not supposed to be like this. I mean, over 2,023 years ago, they hated me. They scorned me. They put me out their synagogue. They said the same thing they're saying today. You a false prophet. Nigga, you ain't Yahweh. I never said I'm Yahweh. I said I'm Micah. And then when I woke up and when my op told me what I had to do in 1992, then I realized I am not Micah. Oh, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Because I am who I am, because I am being who I am, now I'm deemed by them as a false prophet. And I cannot help but to agree with them. What? What you said? I said I cannot help but to agree with them, especially after discovering this accusation in September of 1992. That what? Micah, M-I-C-A-H, is a false name. I said I cannot help but agree with them after discovering in 1992 of September that Micah, M-I-C-A-H, is a false name. And since Micah is a false name, then this is part of what made me a false prophet to this entire planet. Since the man or the soul who walk around with the name Micah is not the name, and the name is false, that means the soul who walk around with the name Micah is a false name, a false prophet. Don't exist. I said Micah don't exist, fool. And all the other millions of Micahs out there. Which Micah are you speaking about? Micah, there's no such thing as Micah the Merthite. He do not exist. He's false, and I agree with you, yes. That's a false prophet. And that goes especially to my own people and to believing that I, Micah, am a false prophet. Who is also, I am though a true Hebrew prophet. I am a true Hebrew prophet. There's only two. There's no such thing as more than two prophets in existence. All those that you see in the Bible, the 39 books that you call the Old Testament, and the names that you see are not prophets. They're servants who were indicted to by the prophet. They cannot tell you what's going to happen in the future. But the one God, Man Ab, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, who knows everything, he told them what's going to happen in the future and write it and make a record of it so when it happened, they will see that I was there with you and I told you to do it. That's who the prophet is. And then there was another who came along and told them the same thing. And then they got confused. Wait a minute now, who are you? I'm the one who's going to tell you to write this. Write it and seal it up. And then at the time of the end, I'm going to come back and tell you what they mean. Daniel. Daniel. They got confused. And as a result of this international and local falsehood, in the hood, in the ghetto of all my people across the United States, all the ghettos, I am being asked by these men of Judah to make a video, and one in particular. I'm being asked to make an announcement, a public announcement by way of a video on live stream to all of the nations on this planet. www, World Wide Web, Facebook, live stream, Instagram, Twitter, whatever I have to do, YouTube, whatever I got to do, make an apology. Make an apology that I am a false prophet. So I'm here making an apology. They want me to make an apology. That I'm a false prophet. They have no idea what they asked for. I said, you had no idea what you asked for and to whom you asked it for and from. I mean, I tried this a few weeks ago, if not last week. Last week. But that wasn't good enough. They think I got time to sit around and wait for them to respond. I must respond to them when they call me or when they text me. You better listen to what I'm saying. Who are you? I'm your God. I'm your God. You better respond to me, nigga. I mean, they got me confused with somebody from Africa, probably Niger. See, all those in Niger, their name is nigger. There's a country in Africa called Niger, Niger. And those citizens are also niggers. I'm not in Niger. I'm right here in Miami, Florida. But I can comprehend the confusion. It's like that. We all have the same skin complexion. Some are darker. But I'm supposed to respond to them. And then someone brings to my attention. I don't go looking for it, but it brings to my attention. Did you know they went on YouTube and they commended the fella? He deserves a pound of back. See, they got him. They made Mika confess. Yeah. They made him confess to being somebody who he's not. Now we got him to be who we want him to be. So he can go back and climb back in on this rock, wherever he came from after he was kicked out of Detroit. I mean, I tried. They couldn't accept that. Wasn't good enough. And in fact, Mount Ab, Yod Wafe, also agreed that that post was an apology, and I posted that apology. It was not good enough. Ma'ab said, you know what, son, that wasn't good enough. That post, that wasn't good enough. So what did he do? Ma'ab, Yod Wafe, commanded me to make this video in its stead. That I wasn't coming back on live stream Facebook. That was my decision, not his. Especially since I was persecuted and persuaded at the same time by one who carries the name. I'll be giving you the name. It's kind of confusing, so you got to stay with me now. This is a name that I was introduced to. I'm not calling them out. I'm just quoting, so you can be my witnesses. But I was persuaded and persecuted by this one who's known as carrying the name, quote, Willie Jackson, end quote. That's on his birth certificate. According to what he had. It probably also is on his driver license. Willie Jackson. And I don't know why he took it offensive when I addressed him as Willie Jackson. I didn't take it offensive when they called me Charles. Because before 1979, I thought I was Charles. I also thought I was Saunders. Would you believe I also thought I was Tony? I thought I was Tony before 1979. In fact, I even thought that I belonged to some people named John's son. I did. Why? I was dead. Walking around dead in my sleep. You ever heard of sleepwalking? Would nobody walk around deader than me in my sleep, in this sleep? I'm talking about deep sleeping. Yeah, I thought I was cocky. Write red light tickets. Taking out a gun, pointing at people. Stop! Hold! I shoot! At my own people. Picking up people, literally. Picking them up and throwing them in the back of the police car. Literally. Well, see, I got witnesses who saw me do it. Picking up cars from the back, off the wheels. Yeah. You know, bench, yeah. Weightlifting. Picking up cars by their back bumpers and lifting them off the ground. I did that. Why you think my wrote a book called what? The Mighty Black Man. Where you think he got it from? The photo image that you see in that image, he got from a photo I took in my kitchen in Apolo Beach. The woman I was with in the temple gave it to him. Who you think he was speaking of, the Mighty Black Man? You better get yourself together. You better get your story and act together. You better get your testimony together before you publish it and embarrass yourself in front of WWW because you don't know who in hell you're speaking of. You don't even understand or comprehend the book that he wrote called Widow's Son Raised.
No.
Since when in hell did my aunt become a widow's son and her husband was with him, even with her, even till the end? My aunt was never raised as a widow's son. I'm the only one that was raised as a widow's son.
True.
Grew up without a father.
True.
Didn't even know who he was until I met him.
True. True.
You have some nerve. You think you know me. But go ahead. I invite you to type and publicize and post and comment all the wickedness and scornfulness and all the sinful stuff that you want to do and say about me. I invite you to do that because you know nothing of me. If you know something of me, then tell me what kind of toothpaste I use. What size is my underwear? What do I like in my aloe drink? Which one of the 10,000 grapes I like the most on this planet? Oh, you study the grape? You better study the grape because that's also of me. Even the grape gleanage that gleans, of the first fruit, the first ripe fruit of the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no clusters to eat. You better find out what that means. Micah chapter 7, verse 1. My soul wrote it. Anyway, somebody named Willie Jackson told me to come and apologize. He gonna kill me. He said, "You're doomed. You belong to me." But that was there. He has since resurrected himself to now become from right to left, Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yod, Hey, Beth, Nun, Sophie. Yod, Sin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed in Hebrew. But in English, that name is known as, quote, Adoniah ben Yisrael, end quote. That's who he is now. Congratulations. It's like a baptism. I mean, that's what I see. I guess I didn't mean to insult. I'm just calling him by name. I'm being polite. I said Willie Jackson. But you know what was confusing though with Willie Jackson is because my accountant's name is Willie Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah, the one who does my income tax.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we call him Jack. He lives in Georgia, Atlanta. His name is Willie Jackson. You see the mail I get in the mail? Jackson's Enterprise or whatever. We went and met him in North Miami. Miami Gardens. We met Willie. So when I first seen Willie Jackson, I said, "Now, Jack, why are you doing this to me?" I thought we was friends. You supposed to be my accountant. And then I had to go and look real hard on Facebook and look at the profile. Is that Willie? No. All these Willies. See, Willie popped up as a Willie, all over that Mika, all over the place. I'm not making this up. I'm not being rude either. And I can't apologize. I mean, until I explain to you what that is. So you think apology is good. You don't know what you asked for. You think apology is in your favor.
You knew something wrong with it.
You know something got to be wrong with it. So my op say, yeah, you got to apologize. On their level.
Yeah.
A mystery.
Oh, by the way, did you know that the name Adonai, it means, I quote, the Lord and our Master,
Wow.
Lord of the earth, Prophet, Prince, Captain, and Yah, which is part of the ineffable name Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Make a note, write it down, Strong's H113. That's what it means. It comes from, it's your Strong Concordance under H113 and Strong's H3050, 3050. That's where it comes from. Research and study, I'm not making up, I'm not picking on anybody either. I'm not picking on anyone. I'm not here to pick on my people. I'm here to gather them and continue the work that I was told to do in Detroit. And do it now that my Ab is no longer here on this planet. But do they comprehend that? Do you know that Yahweh, Ben Yahweh, who you call Yahweh Ben Yahweh, is no longer walking on this planet? In that flesh, in that body? Take a look. And they still play his videos. Just like Aretha Franklin and Otis Redding, Michael Jackass. They still play his record. All those died. Prince. They're no longer here. I don't know if they comprehend. They don't know if they understand that. See, what they have done was they took our culture, our Hebrew culture of our nation, and turned that. They want to turn it into a Christian religion. They want to treat my Ab like a Jesus, that he gonna come back. Don't worry, he coming back. Just like that. He gonna deliver us. And I read today somebody said, Yahweh said, ain't nobody coming after him. Yahweh said, there's nobody after him. Nigga, you better read the scriptures and study. But he was right, because there's nobody coming that's going to be as he is. See, as he is, the mighty God, the Elohim of the universe. Nobody's coming after him as that. But there is someone who is like him that you got to find out where he's hidden in Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 11. What does it mean by I, even I, will both search my sheep? Now, how do you get one out of both? How do you get nobody after him out of both? Come on now. Keep it in mind, however, that it was, quote, Willie Jackson, end quote, that asked me to apologize to my people about a week or so ago. And now, it is this person today, Adonai ben Israel, quote unquote. Or should I say, it is now the Lord, or Master, Lord of the earth, a prophet, Prince, Captain, and Yah, short for Yahweh, that's asking again for me to apologize to this planet again today. Or else, he said. I'm scared. I'm scared. I got to do this. Because I have a family here. I have people here, sheep that came from all over this country to be here with me. I don't want no harm to come to them. I don't want no harm because I'm protecting them. I have to. I'm standing up for them. So because of that, I have to do this. I must. I don't have to. I must do this. I must. And by the way, this is also being recorded on our conference line. Just in case we're cut off. Am I still being seen on live stream? Okay, just in case it's cut off. Because Willie might be connected, Adonai, excuse me. Adonai may be connected to the government. And, they can cut this off because they get ready to vote. They have elections going on. So if we're cut off until I get back on and reboot, then our conference number is 831. It's our conference line. 831-221-6177. We invite you to call in today. That means you can have your phone on, you got your laptop, you got your phone, you can do both things, you watch. Or you can just wait till this is finished and watch the recording. All right? Okay. Notwithstanding, however, this is not mine Yodewafe, who was asking me to apologize for being a false prophet. You must comprehend that. All those names he Adonai me, that's not mine Oh no. However, it is mine Yodewafe, who has commanded me today to make a planted proclamation of an apology for Micah being a false prophet. You got it? Let me repeat that because, somebody, what he said? Okay. I said, this is not mine Yodewafi, who is asking me to apologize for being a false prophet. But it is mine Yodewafe, who is commanding me today to make a planted proclamation of an apology for Micah being a false prophet. And I always follow and obey mine commandments. Always. So now, I ask that all of you, that's why you, I addressed it before, why you? All of you, Y-O-U, in the circle. And all of ye, why ye, the Yahwehs of the East, to pay attention to this international proclamation from Mem Yod Kaf Yod He Wav He. You got it? I'm the only one. Mem Yod Kaf Yod He Wav He. See it here?
Lord.
This is the only mask of its kind in existence. Nobody else has a mask like this. Mem Yod Kaf Yod He Wav He, from right to left. This is where this proclamation is coming from. So first, let me once again introduce and remind this planet who mine Ab is. See, I cannot introduce myself before I introduce him. So, I must first bring back to your attention those who know and introduce to those who do not know that mine Ab, as always, just like on my profile photo on Facebook, is right. I'm right next to him on his right side. Right. That's reason. That's true. I'm on his right side. Before it used to be me on the right side. See, before it was Hallel on his right side. Hallel was over me in heaven on our planet. But now, and after what Hallel did, it was kicked out, and we brought him here. Hallel was all chained up with chains that they don't make. The substance wasn't made from nothing on earth. We had him chained up with a substance that they don't make here on this planet, so he wouldn't get away. He wouldn't get loose. So we chained him up, we bound him up, flew here to the planet, and dropped him off eastward in Eden, in the Middle East. That's where we landed. And they were let loose. So I came out too. I left both of us here. But what happened is Hallel no longer had that position on the right side of Ab. He then became on the left side to be the god of the goats and the snakes and the lions. But I'm always now on the right side of my Ab, just like you see here. To the left of the screen, or to the left of my shoulder, on my shoulder, to the right of the screen, I'm still on his right. So that is my And many people, my people, still only know him as, quote, Yahweh, Ben Yahweh, but end quote. But we're going to straighten that out in a minute. In fact, I got to straighten it out now. Straighten it out now. I'm going to remind some and introduce to others. Because for some strange reason, they just can't get it. They can't get it. I have a book of one of all. I have one of all of his books that I read. Here's the name of this one: How to Overcome the World. I mean, I have a library of books. I've had them in the Bahamas. Read them off, cover to cover. Just sat there in my office reading, shaking my head and said, wow. As he was feeding me with 7 pipes to the 7 lamps. 7 pipes to the 7 lamps. He was feeding me. And he gave me 7 lamps of oil from the United States way over to the Bahamas. Could you imagine? And as I was reading, but in particular, the first page you come to, actually not the first page, but when you come to this page, his black and white photo image is in front of all of his books. He had it done that way on purpose. He told him. And he didn't want a color photo. He told them to put a black and white photo. Why? Because he's talking to all the people, black and white. All the people. The whole planet, which is only black or white. No red, yellow. No such thing as red and yellow. Ain't no red people. What you see is people with clear skin, and because they have clear skin, they have blood on their skin, and they look red to you, but they're not red. They're not white either. They're confused. They're beasts. They're animals. They're mankind. There's no black people either. Black is a color. White is a color. But to come down and descend on their level, he put his photo image without color. And that is. Now, to the bottom of the photo image, as you can see, and he could have, he's God. He don't make mistakes. If his name was, quote, Yahweh ben Yahweh, or Yod Wahe Beit Nusofet Yod Wahe, end quote, then he would have put that right here. That would have been put right here. You got that? But he didn't put that there. You want to know why he didn't put that there? I'm going to read it to you why he didn't put that there. I'm going to quote. Because the first 2 words he says is Shalom Aleichem. Period. I got to do this. He told me to do it. Shalom Aleichem. I am the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, comma, architect of the universe, comma. You got to study architect. I didn't say architect of the University of Yahweh, like the University of Yahweh that they created at Miami. He didn't say I'm the architect of the University of Yahweh. Say universe. Start. Universe. What you see over my head on the screen, he did all of that. Architect. In fact, he thought of it, drew it out, and then did it. That's architect. Then made it. He did that. Architect. The blessed and only potentate, and I am the founder of the nation of Yoruba. Now we speak of the nation. True holiness and righteousness, the kingdom of Shalom, which is the most powerful knowledge of peace in existence, period, end quote. Got it? Same one. Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. And before he left, even in the temple before 1990, he told them in the temple, I'm Yahweh. See, y'all don't get focused on my body. So you're getting confused because you look at my body. He even told, they even got a video. You love to watch videos. Then look for the video, or this is a recording where he said, you focus on God. You should be focused on I am the mighty God. He said it. I got all the videos. What you posted and what you're doing, I already did that. I got them all. I got them and did that. I put them up because now it's a new heaven and new earth. You still focus on that. That means you're neither hot or cold. You're lukewarm. You don't want to come out of that. He says, I am the. You may say mighty, but I am the mighty God. So he's telling you, I'm not. The mighty God is Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. How come they're confused with that? I never told anybody that I am the mighty God. There's a huge difference from the mighty God and the God of the earth in Revelation chapter 11, verse 4. Big difference. You don't even know who the earth is. Until you know who the earth is, then that's when you will know who the God of the earth is. But they haven't studied that. Why? Because they followed each other. They're following the precepts of men, fulfilling Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 13. That's what they're doing. They honor me with their lips, but with their mouth and their heart, they're two different things. Got that? No. They don't. No. You ain't got that. So with that no, N-O, that's found as part of your reprobate minds, then let me explain to all of you why Mount Ab, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, had his thesis that is found in every one of his books below his black and white photo image in italicized. Or did I mention that? That is in italicized font. Italicized font. All of this. Why is that in italicized font from the computer print? Why? Turn to the last. Now we get ready. Now we get busy. If you're going to join us, get your Bible. Turn to the last two verses of the last chapter of what? The Hebrews. We Hebrews, right? Okay, so turn to the last chapter, and you're going to read the last two verses of the book called Hebrews, which will be chapter 13. 13, that sounds familiar. Start at verse 24. What? You got it? Hebrews 13:24.
Hebrews 13:24.
Salute all them that have the rule
Now,
over
what
you.
you're doing is now, you're reading, and you're going to be reading for this planet. It's being recorded. Some people may not have a Bible, but they can hear you. Hear ye, hear ye. Right? All rise, right? This court's now in session. So when you read, you got to let these people know that you're reading from the King James Version Bible, and then you got to say quote. You must say quote. If not, then it's coming from you. Did you hear me say quote? Okay. To let them know, and you who are watching and here, that I'm not making this come from. This not coming from me. I'm quoting. You got it? That way they won't blame me for the accusations of making me say I did it. I'm saying it. So try that again, please. That's what I'm teaching you. So try that again.
Okay. Hebrews 13:24.
King James
Quote,
Version.
KJV.
Right.
Salute all them that have rule over you, and all the saints, they of Italy, salute you.
Hold it now. Good gracious. See, some didn't even know that Italy was in the Bible. not even realizing that this word Italy, Italy, which is also a hieroglyphic, as it is in the alley. You don't know who's in the alley or the valley. But Italy, as you see it, is a codexed message that came from Yodewafe. It's the only part in the books. Did you know that? Some have his books. There's a group that puts all his books online. So if you have one, go look for yourself. Go online and look. Under his thesis, his photo image, in the thesis, it is italicized font. That is a codexed message. Codexed, crypto. Crypto. Why? It's a codex message from Ab Yodewafe that he used to overpower the onerous rule. The onerous rule that was placed on him by the U.S. federal government as they had him in custody. What's the onerous rule? The onerous rule is, that's O-N-E-R-O-U-S, means he is not to have contact with any of his followers. He can't even write them and get caught. No phone call, no visits. Then you may wonder, well, how did you say you went to see her in 1992? How is it you a follower? You say you a follower. You one of his elders. And you one of his followers. So how is it that you got to see Yahweh in jail at TGK? Because he made it possible for me to do that. And I went in incognito. In fact, I went in as Mika. I went in as Mika. Incognito. Didn't even have a beard. No beard. They thought I was Charles. Got him with a star, a golden shield, a gold shield. As who I was at the time, the state investigator. And I could go see any inmate anywhere I wanted to. I could have went in any jail facility in this country. Even in the Bahamas I went. To Hawaii. I went all over the place with my badge and went to see anybody I wanted to see, any jail or prison. All I had to do was show my ID, write down who I wanted to see, and come in this way. Buzz through the door and go in. That's how I did it. And I'm the only one who did. For a reason. And even after I left, my aunt blessed me. So that fulfilled another prophecy. I get to that. Told me to go. Go to my children. But they don't believe it. Still, I don't believe that. Y'all listen to Mika if you want to. He lying. Mika ain't seen no Yahweh but Yahweh. He couldn't see it. Nobody could see Yahweh but Yahweh. He lying. He's a false prophet. But Ab used that italicized thesis as a codex message to all of his children and people. How did he do that? Well, he did it in several of his books and recorded such codex messages in his videos. He did the same thing in his videos and recordings from prison. A perfect example of that is lesson number 5 that he recorded while in prison of our true history. Our true history, world's best kept secret. Have you seen it? Or did you listen to? Or did you hear? See, some only listen to lesson number 5. Some never have. Well, if you haven't, I encourage you to go to YouTube, log in, Yahweh ben Yahweh, lesson number 5, and it's going to pop right up. And when you do, in your own comfort, in your own home, or dwelling structure, put on some headphones, plug it in, and hear the voice of Mount Og in lesson number 5. And when ye do, or even you do, at about 26 minutes or so into that video, and you're going to hear my Ob say, turn to the book called Milcah. Turn to Milcah. Turn to the King James Version book called Milcah, M-I-L-C-H-A. And then when you do, and you find it, then send me a text message. Let me know where I can find it in my Bible. Let me know where I can find Milcah in my King James Version Bible, which is actually a codex message for Micah. Because if you would say turn to Micah, wait, hold it now, because they screened everything he was doing. Wait, hold on now. He's saying turn to Micah. Is he trying to tell y'all something? You should turn to Micah. You want to know why he did that and didn't say Micah? Here's why he said Milcah and not Micah, which was codex. Because he was reading from Amos chapter 5, where he did, in verses 18 and 19. But he mentioned Milcah, which was actually a variant of Micah incognito, in care of that same recording by uttering Micah chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. He said that's what Micah chapter 5 and verse 18 and 19 says. He still got it in there with his power of codex. Now, that's your next assignment. Turn to the book called Micah chapter 5, and when you read verses 18 and 19, let me know in your Bible where I can find a Bible like yours, because I don't see it in my Bible. I don't see Micah chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. Show it to me, and then I will submit to me being false. So if that means if I'm false, then my Ab is false, because he the one said Micah chapter 5, verse 18 and 19, who you say you believe in. In fact, he is also false because he said turn to the book called Milcah. So you call me false, and you call him false. You call him false, yeah, you call me false. Because I haven't seen Milcah yet. But your minds are so into a deep sleep. Reference Isaiah 29, 10 through 13, until you, why you, or even you, why oh you, could not hear that. And those who did say, wow, I guess he really had Yahweh ben Yahweh in stress, because he said turn to Milcah, he must be really tired. Because I can't find it. But they ain't paying no attention to him reading from Amos about putting your hand on the wall and the serpent bit you. You don't know what you're asking for. He said it. And then I also heard a comment, I read a comment a couple weeks ago. Somebody asked, did you ever hear Yahweh ben Yahweh mention Micah? The answer to your question is yes, he did. He did, but you couldn't hear it. Why? Because you have ears, but you hear not. Eyes you have, but cannot see not. You cannot see. You have a mind, but you don't use it. You use it in the wrong way. I just celebrating that the Lakers won the championship. You worrying about Lakers win a championship, and you should be worrying about trying to get out this lake of fire. You celebrating the wrong lake. Lakers. Same thing here with this word, Italy. Same thing, Italy, I-T-A-L-Y, Italy, in English. You want to know what it means? Ab did the same thing with his pictures and the thesis under the picture and italicized. He did the same thing, and the reason why he did that, why? Because Italy, it means calf-like. Calf-like. C-A-L-F-like people. Wow. Reference, Strong's, G2482. It only appears about 4 times in the Bible, the word Italy. All the New Testament. Italy. It means what? Calf-like people. Again, Strong's G2482. Now read verse 24 again of Hebrews chapter 13.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 24, quote, salute all them that have the rule over you, and all the saints, they of Italy, salute you.
Okay, now, they of the calf-like people, or baby cows, right? Baby cows are all here today that are symbolized as people. People to receive one who has the 7 spirits of Mount Olive, Yuliwafe, in his soul. That's who they are. I repeat, all these calf-like people, baby cows, that needs to drink milk from the Ma, Ima, right? A calf. Are people. They are baby people. And they're here today. They're symbolizing baby people to receive one who has the 7 spirits of Mount Wafi in his soul. Now pause here for a moment. Turn to Isaiah chapter 11. And let me introduce to many and remind a few who he is. And who these calf-like people are today. Who he is and who these calf-like people are today. And begin at verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. Quote, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Continue reading. What's he going to have? A branch. We went over that. Other recordings and videos available for that. That's not our subject. Keep moving. We're reading.
Verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And the spirit of Yod-Heh-Wav shall rest upon him.
Uh-huh.
The spirit of wisdom and understanding.
Yes.
The spirit of counsel and might.
Yes.
The spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yod-Heh-Wav.
Now you must comprehend and keep this in mind that this Yod-Heh-Wav, this L-O-R-D in all caps, that's the same as Mount Ab, Yod-Heh-Wav. You got it?
Okay.
That means it's speaking of someone else who have his spirits. Verse 3.
And shall make him of quick understanding and the fear of Yod-Heh-Wav.
Uh-huh. Read on.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes,
Uh-huh.
neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
Uh-huh. Read
Verse
on.
4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor,
Right.
and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
Read on.
And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth,
That sounds familiar? Read on.
and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
That's prophetical. That's prophetical. Read verse 5.
And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins.
You got that? He's righteous. He's not false or wicked. He's a righteous man. He only speaks of his arm. He's here to get his people who are righteous. And what else?
And faithfulness, the girdle of his reed.
He's also faithful. And we'll do it now, as I've said, especially after being corrected in 1985. Read verse 6, please.
The wolf also.
The who?
The wolf also
The wolf also shall what?
dwell with the lamb.
Is that why they're putting a lamb, a wolf over a lamb sheet on it, putting it on? That's not me. That must be telling them about someone else. Because verse 5 don't go with verse 6.
Okay.
See, they are here too. The wolf in sheep's clothing. Even the same skin complexion as the sheep. Read on and see who they are. And what else?
And the leopard shall lie down with the kid.
See, that's the white-minded people of my people. The leper. The white-minded of my people will lay and have sex with the white men and white women. Even have sex with their kids. Don't you see it? Shall lie down with the kid. What you thought, lie? What you thought with that? You thought it was a lie with the mouth? No, lie down with the kid. They would have sex with the white man and women and the kids, their own kids. Read on, and what?
And the calf.
And what? The what?
And the calf.
The calf and the young lion. And the who? And the fatling together. Is that what it says?
Okay.
See, these people are the young man of the chosen that just came into the knowledge of themselves. That's who the fatling together are, the young and the calf and the young lion. That's who they are. That's coming from Micah chapter 7 Micah chapter 5 verse 7 and 8. The young lion is being the forest of many people. This there is prophetical. I repeat, this calf and the young lion and the fatling together are people that are young minds of the chosen that just came into the knowledge of themselves and who their God is, who their Savior is. They are young by return to Yod-Heh-Wav, not by the age of their body. They're young in mind who they are and their God. Although there are many that came out of the womb after 1990. There are. After 1990, they came out of the womb. And even before 1979. some came out of the womb. And those are they that are fat. See, those that came before 1979 are those that are fat and came after 1979 to 1990. They're fat. Because they're full of the knowledge of Yahweh. You can read that in a minute too. That's in verse 9. See, they have plenty of bread from Yahweh himself. They were there himself. They were there themselves. They got that bread from Bob right in front of him. They're fat. Right? Isn't that what it said? The fattening together?
Okay.
The young and the fattening together. Right. Okay, there it is. Now, I don't know who could have explained that. Mount Ob, he never explained that. Show me a video where he explained that. In so much until they are continuing to eat from his 1980s videos and recordings of fatlings together. They're still doing it. Getting fat together and not going on a diet to kill the path of their hope. So they got to go on a diet, D-I-E-I-T, diet, kill it. But they refuse to do that and move on and renew the spirit of their minds. See, that's what that means. And because they all agree together. They all agree together after being recruited of having the same thing in common. They do. Then they have become fatling together. There it is. Fulfilling this acronym. That's the acronym. And then there are the rest who will be led by who is being described as and identified in verses 1, 2, and 3 as the spirit, but the bear with 7 spirits. The one with 7 spirits. Now this chapter, read and see. Read on. It says, and a little child.
And a little child shall lead them.
See, that's the same one. In verses 1, 2, and 3. Why a little child? Because they won't know this child. They know the big child. But they know the big one, but don't know the little child. Verse 7.
And the cow and the bear shall feed.
All of these are symbolics. This is the same bear that's in Amos chapter 5. And who else?
Their young ones shall lie down together.
There it is. And what?
And the lion shall eat straw like the ox.
See, these are all symbolic that identifies certain people today. I'm not here. I wasn't told to teach this. Read verse 8 and 9 and see what's going to happen. See what else happened.
And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the apse. And the weaned child shall put his hand.
Weaned child. Yeah,
Okay.
the weaned child should what?
Shall put his hand on the cockatrice den.
Now, see, I'm going to go over this den in a minute. D-E-N, keep that in mind, den. I got to go over that because that's hitting under something else. I repeat, these are all symbolic that identify a certain people today. And they are people that when they come to their own God, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Elohim, they will become erudite. You know, erudite? Read the next verse and see. I promise. I'm not making it. Read the next verse.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain.
Why?
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh,
Goodness.
as the waters cover the sea.
Praise the Lord. See, that's what they're going to get. They become erudite. Now turn to Revelation chapter 4. See, right now the subject is italicized. Why did have his thesis printed by the printing press in italicized font, which was a codex message for the young calves, Italy, that you just saw here in Isaiah chapter 11. The calves, the young calves, the calf-like people, right? Start at verse 1. Revelation chapter 4.
Quote, Revelation 4, verse 1. KJV. Quote,
KJV, huh?
After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven.
Now you know that's symbolic. See, that's where our people get off on. That's where they get lost. These Christians. If I go to heaven, Peter gonna be right there at the door. Gabriel, and let me in. Huh? It's me. I'm dead. Let me in. Have no idea what that means. That's codex. That's crypto. Cryptic. It's a prophetic cryptogram. Read on, please, after the colon.
And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me.
As if it were of a trumpet, talking with me. And what else? We'll say what?
Come up hither,
Come up hither.
and I will show
But
thee
see,
things.
come up hither. Right? That's all you see. You don't see the hieroglyphic in there of the acronym. You don't see that I want you to come up and hit her. You think it's hither. But I want you to hit her. Who is her? You got to find out who her is. The same one who's at the door. Also known as the sun-clad woman. But you don't know that. But I'm false, so I wouldn't know that either. Hit her, the sun-clad woman, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. Only the sun-clad woman, if you hit her, could tell you that. That's coming from chapter 1, verse 1, same book, Revelation. And what? Verse 2.
And immediately
Immediately. What?
I was in the spirit.
See how quick it was? Bam, just like that. Wake up. Bam. And when he took you into your mind of heaven, he have to take you into your own heaven, your mind, and bring to you the reality as you hit her. Right? And all of a sudden, you see a throne that was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, not in it. The throne. Read verse 3. What did he look like? Verse 3.
And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone.
Ooh, you don't know how powerful that is. Don't have time to teach you. Go into it. But you have to know that this jasper is also a certain skin complexion. A certain knowledge in his mind. His knowledge is so condensed into one mind until it becomes like a sardine. Like sardines combined in a stone. Hard, could never leave his mind. It's all crowded in, all those blood cells in the brain, all into one. And there was a rainbow round about the throne of different people, different shades of people, different skin complexions of Judah and Lavi and Israel, all the 10 tribes, all different complexions, and sight like unto an emerald, even those that were on the breastplate of Mount Og. And verse 4.
And round about the throne were 24 seats.
24 seats, but there was no field. Show me where it says and they were sitting in the seats. Upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting. Sitting where? Show where it says sitting in the seats. Where were they sitting? Don't you see a colon after seats? Okay, show me where it says the elders were sitting in the seats. You don't comprehend that. No one knows that except the one who sealed it. To loose it. Clothed in white remnant. And they had on their heads crowns of gold. But yet they tried to figure this out, drawing little cartoons and paintings on it. They tried to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out how they did that and said the book was sealed. And no one found ways to open the book. Mount Og didn't go over this. He didn't do this before he left. He left that for the one who he gave it to loose. Then don't you comprehend Revelation chapter 1, verse 1? Better read it again. And verse 5 says what? And out of what?
And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices.
You remember that? In the midst of the seventh candlestick, boom. And there what?
Were 7 lamps of fire.
7 lamps of fire. Each lamp is a part of my name. 5 lamps, 2 of the 5 positioned twice. Being what?
Burning before the throne,
Which are what?
which are the 7 spirits of Elohim.
See, I'm not making it up. That's coming from Isaiah chapter 11. Read verse 6, please.
And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal.
Like unto crystal. You don't even know what that means. I'm looking at the sea right now of glass. Right now. And they're glad. In fact, if I put cough, if I put a C in front of L, then you have a class. And I can see them all right now. And in what?
And in the midst of the throne,
What?
and round about the throne, were 4 beasts, full
What
of eyes before and behind.
Now you know what these 4 beasts are? See, it's chapter 4. Those 4 beasts are introduced in chapter 6. I went over that the other day with you. 4 beasts. And verse 7.
And the first beast was like a lion.
See, it's coming together. I keep looking. Look at it and see it. The first beast was like a lion that went over in chapter 6 the other day. Right? And a white horse. Like a lion because he looked like us. He looked like Judah. But he wasn't Judah. He was the God of Judah. But because he looked like a lion of the first beast, they thought he was a lion. They thought he was the Lion of Judah too. They confusing the Elohim, the God, the mighty God, with the lion, with Judah. And who's the second one?
And the second beast was like a cow.
A calf. Calf-like, young, sucking milk from his hog. She fed him. With the 7, you just saw it up there with the 7 pipes. The 7 lamps. And the third beast what? Had what?
And the third beast had a face of a man.
Face as a man.
As a man.
That's why I had to tell you of the third beast yesterday, who had the pair of balances in his hand. Come and see. Come and see. And the fourth beast was like what?
Was like a flying eagle.
That's also in verse 4 and verse 7 of Revelation chapter 6. And this eagle hears some souls for a particular altar. But that's not my subject. Did not teach me to tell me to teach you that today. Like a flying eagle. Yet to be loosed. But for now, this all came from Mount Ob, you know why I say? From his thesis that's italicized. That's the subject. Don't you see the calf? Right? The calf up in verse. Where's the calf? In verse 7. In verse 7. Now read, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. Okay, now, this all came from the italicized. And furthermore, see, these supposedly animals are the same people. They're the very same people that are being symbolized as beasts and animals. Same one from Isaiah chapter 11. But I'm not here today. Remember, I'm not here for the purpose of teaching the mystery or loose the seals of this mystery, this crypto, of who they are, especially for those that want to be me. See, imagine, I loose this for those who want to be me, and then they run with this as if they came up with it. They came from them. Because they monitor me, and then they take it and study it. They go in their bedrooms, go wherever they are, New York, don't matter what state, they study it, and they pray that they followers don't read it too, and they go out and profess that they did it so they can follow them and say, wow, you are wise. Yes, sir. Wow. I couldn't figure that out. Right? Or they even ask me to do certain things in a request so that I can do it. And all of a sudden they get it. And I'm also here for them. Yeah, really? Now, I'm on live stream today by commandment from Mount Og, Yodewafe. And since that is the case, now read the last verse. Go back and read the last verse of Hebrews chapter 13. So we can close that off where we started this flight. See, this is a flight. See, right where you were in the spirit. I took you in the spirit on a flight. Now close that flight, come into a landing, read verse 25. Hebrews chapter 13.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 25. Quote, Grace be with you all.
Right.
Amen.
That's
End
right.
quote.
It's a whole group of men. It's amen. A whole group of men that are with me to do this.
Praise.
Now, with that said, and you know who my Ab is, now let me proclaim this to all the sons of Israel.
Praise you, Lord.
All the sons of Israel, and to all the sons of Yodewavhe. Or did you not know that Yodewavhe have more than one son?
Praise you, Lord.
They forgot. Yodewavhe have more than one son. So turn to John chapter 1. Let's see. John chapter 1. Read verse 1. John chapter 1, verse 1. That says what?
Quote, in the beginning was the Word,
Uh-huh.
and the Word was with Yodewaphe, and the Word was.
They could never comprehend that.
Praise you, Lord.
They think the word is Mount Ab,
He created the world.
and he created the word.
Praise you, Lord.
And you can read the rest of it. We went over this. That's not our subject. But I said that, Ab have more than one son. And what's your request? Okay, because, the same was in the beginning with Yodewavhe. The same was in the beginning with Yodewavhe. Okay? But for the sake of the subject, read verse 10. They can read the rest on their own. Well, you know what? Hold it. Read verse 7 from verse 7.
The same came for a witness, to bear witness.
Now this is speaking of
the light.
Yohanan, or who you think of John. All of those who I own. Who what?
That all men through him might believe.
Oh, wow. What might believe? Because all of them are not going to. So why? Read verse 8.
He was not that light,
They think he was that light.
but was sent to bear witness of that light.
Right. Read verse 9. That was what?
That was the true light,
Which did what?
which lighteth every man that cometh into the world.
Now read verse 10.
He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not.
You don't even know who made the world. My op say he's the architect of the universe. He didn't say anything about the world.
Right. Right.
See, my op made many worlds, plenty of worlds. They were all framed by him. That's Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3, or something like that, isn't it? But then he did what in verse 11? The same one. He came what?
He came unto his own,
And what his own did.
and his own received him not.
That couldn't be by Allah, because all those who say I'm false, they receive by Allah. That's what they say. They say they received him. Couldn't be him they didn't receive. It got to be someone who made this world they don't know of. But the reward is verse 12 that says what?
But as many as received him,
To what?
to them gave he power.
Gave he power to become the sons. See, that's sons, plural, right? But they have a problem with that. They have a problem with me saying I'm a son of Yudawabah, or the son. Why the son? Because I'm the first begotten of those sons. I'm the first begotten of all the sons. Yodewavhe cannot begot himself. He's self-incarnate. He told them that. I'm self-incarnate. Huh? And yeah, he left videos where he says the first begotten of the Father, because he came down a level. He also said, I have so many things to tell you, but you cannot bear them now. And what was he doing? Protecting his son and his children and his sons. He protected all of his sons and daughters from the devil, which makes me the T-H-E, First begotten. See, if you wasn't dead, then you'd be begotten too. There's more room for you. All you have to do is be begotten of the dead. I'm not selfish. Wake up and be begotten. You just cannot be the first begotten. Now you can be the third begotten, the fourth, the fifth. You can be the 1,000 begotten, but you can't be the first begotten of the dead. That spot is already taken. But there's plenty of room. In fact, many are called, but few are chosen. So now do not continue to be ignorant of thinking that Mal'ab Yudawafe is his own son. That's ludicrous. How can Mal'ab Yudawafe be his own son? You gotta shake your head. In other words, for the last time, Judah, quote, Yahweh ben Yahweh, end quote. Or in Hebrew, Yod He Wav He, Beit Nun Sofit Yod He Wav He, is not a name. Do they know that? Do you comprehend that? They don't. Shalom Lalato, Echlekem, Wabman Yi, Yudi Wafe, Samayim, Yushi Reshal Yudi Wafe, Ani Mem Sophie, Ani He, Reshith Malek, Ani He, Mem Yod Kaf Yudi Wafe, Bain Reshith, Ani Gam, Ye Kates, Asher Hu, Asher Haya, Asher Bo, Hey Sharai, Gadol Sad Mem Yod Kaf Yudi Wafe, Shabbat Kabod, Baruch Hashem Yudi Wafe Olam. That's who I am. It's not your Ab. He cannot be the Son of God and God too. And for those who do not know your own Hebrew idiom, I said, I am Mem, the first. And I am Mem Sophie, the last. I am the chief angel. I am Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe Mika Yahweh. From the beginning. That means Mika is false. I'm also here at the end, which is and which was with Yod Wafe and which is come as the word. The Almighty Great Prince. Mika Yahweh. I cannot change that. That's who I am. Glory, praises, honor, and blessed the name Yod Wafe forever. I cannot change that.
Please.
So, Yahweh ben Yahweh, quote unquote, is an English's appellation from the original Hebrew. Yod He Wafe, Beit Nun Sofit Yod Wafe, and that means, I quote, God, Yahweh, God, and then Ben or Beit Nun Sofit, the son of, and again, Yahweh, who is God. That's what that means. Yahweh and the son of Yahweh. That's not a name. It's an appellation. Now that's my final explanation. I cannot do that no more. My opposite, that's it. So if they want to continue to say, praise Yahweh ben Yahweh, Todah, then you are praising the Father and the Son at the same time. Todah. Period. Now read the rest of verse 12 that says what? In John chapter 1. Read the last part that said what? Read that over again, like the sons of... Read the whole verse again. Okay. Verse 12.
But as many as received him,
Right.
to them gave he power to become the sons of Yodewape.
Even what?
Even to them that believe on his name.
That could not be one meaning. So you all claim to believe in his name. But do you believe on his name? Or did you see it? Let's say believe on his name. Y'all claim to believe in his name. But do you believe on his name? Whose name? What is on his name? A soul. Just told you that. One soul that he, Yodewafe, placed his name on that soul. In fact, on the many souls. On their, so what? On their minds. on their minds. Whose minds? On the minds of those that believe on his name. Why do you think it's on? Got to place it on your mind. And for those that do not believe, then here's your apology. Got the apology as follows. Here's your apology. Right? Okay. Apology is a word. A-P-O-L-O-G-Y, right? It's a word. Whose word? Whose word is apology? It's easy. Come on. The English. The English. Apology belongs to those that are from Ing, E-N-G, that are Lish, L-I-S-H.
Praise you and Father.
Have you ever studied that? Have you ever studied the men of Ing who became Lish? Because that's their word. You should know where they got that word from. The men of Ing who became Lish. That taught you to become Lish. Because they got you, they got Judah. The men of Ing got Judah and put them into bondage. And taught you, took you away from your Hebrew and put you into their English. Now you speak, read, write, and you comprehend English. It's something to understand. English. You should want to know where the apology come from. You want me to apologize, don't know where it come from. You don't know where it come from. Apology. You don't know what you asked for. Before you ask me to do something, study it first, then come to me. Don't come to me with apology. Because had you studied where apology came from, then you would know they got that from Greece. I said the English got that word and most of their words from Greece, also known as the Greeks. This means that this word apology, A-P-O-L-O-G-Y, came from the Ga, G-I, G-Y, or the Gi, G-Y, whichever you prefer, Gi, G-Y, right? Or the Ga, or the Ja, or the Ga, right? Which is the abbreviation of gypsy, G-Y-P-S-Y, gypsy, G-Y, apology, A-P-O-L-O-G-Y. Don't even know what the suffix means, G-Y. I just told you. The G-Y is abbreviation of gypsy. That also became a god of Greece. It's a god of Greece whose name is known today as Apollo. A-P-O-L-L-O with two L's opposed to one of Apollo. Same pronunciation. Apollo, Apollo. With two L's. Why two L's? Why two L's in Apollo opposed to one L in Apollo with G-Y, apology? Well, here's why. Because Apollo is one of the Olympian deities in classical Greek and Roman religion and Greek and Roman mythology, which is the national divinity of the Greeks. That means that Apollo has been recognized as a god of archery, music, and dance through a prophecy, healing, and diseases as the sun and light. The god of the sun, the god of light in Greece, of poetry and more. And one of the most important and complex of the Greek gods, two for the LL, the two L, Elohim, Elohim. Apollo is the son of Zeus and Leto. That's why it's two L's. A-P-O-L-L-O. Opposed to A-P-O-L-O. Without the G-Y. You got it? He's also the twin brother of Artemis. Apollo, the goddess of the hunt, and seen as the most beautiful god and the ideal of the Koros, Ephabe, or a beardless athletic youth. A beardless athletic youth. And Apollo is also considered to be the most Greek of all the gods. Apollo without the G-Y. and you want me to apology. I owe you an apology. Apologize. As the I-Z-E, or the L-I-S-H of the ish, of the lish. That's what you want me to do from the English. You fool you. Now that I've explained to you Apollo, what about the GY? The suffix of apology. Apollo, G. Well, the suffix GY or LOGY for logy is added, then here is what you have when that's added. You have a logy, which is a suffix in the English language, used with words originally adapted from ancient Greek, ending in logia. It's a suffix. This suffix has the sense of the character of deportment of who speaks or treats of a certain subject, or more succinctly, quote, the study of a certain subject, end quote. You want me to apologize of a certain subject. Don't even know it. I'm doing it. Now, this means that every time you ask someone, Judah, from now on, every time you ask someone to apologize, you are asking that person to become a follower of Apollo. Or apologize. I knew who she was when she came and sat here. That's why I sat her right here. I apologize. When you ask someone to apologize, you are asking that person to become a follower of Apollo, the most recognized Olympian deity in classical Greek and of the Roman religion of Greek and Rome, the Roman mythology on the planet. That means when you ask me to apologize, someone who you do not know, but only as, quote, Mika, M-I-C-A-H, end quote, then that makes that name a false name. Then you are truly asking me, Mem Yod Kaf Yod He Wav He, to follow the national divinity of the Greeks that is headed by Apollo, that has been recognized as a god of archery, music and dance, truth and prophecy, healing and diseases. That's what you're asking me to follow. Insomuch until you are asking Mem Yod Kaf Yod He Wav He to follow a god of Greece that is also known as the god of the sun and light, who is also known today as Lucifer. Reference Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. Also known as, quote, Donald John Trump Sr., end quote, that you probably want me to vote for too. Who also, by the way, is the president of a book of lies that has become like a book of poetry lies and more. You are asking me to submit to one of the most important and complex of the Greek gods, or did you know that? Did you know that you are asking me, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wav He, the one known in the Bibles today, all the Bibles of the world today as Mika, quote, end quote, M-I-C-A-H, known also in the Bibles of the world as, quote, Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, end quote, to bow to and follow the son of Zeus and Leto, and the twin brother of Artemis? That's what you want me to do? The goddess of the hunt? You are asking me, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wav He, to follow a god of Greece that is seen as the most beautiful god and the ideal of the Koros, the Alphabet, and as a beardless homosexual that preys on little kids as an athletic youth. That's what you want me to do?
Oh, wow.
You are asking me to come on live stream and announce to this planet that I am a follower of Apollo that is considered to be the most Greek of all the gods. Did you know that? Well, if you did not know, then you should know this. When the suffix gy, gi, or g, or lagi, or lagi is added, however you want to say it, then here's what you want me to do. You want me to adapt from my Hebrew self into becoming an ancient Greek ending that will end up in lagio to then be like a sense of having the character or deportment of one who speaks or who treats of a certain subject, what you want, or more succinctly, the study of a certain subject. That's what you want. Right? Right. Right. So, with that said, who in hell do you think I am? And if you should ever come out of the hell that you're in and make your way into heaven, then who in heaven do you think or know who I am? If you knew me or know me, then you would be part of those that was promised by Mount Ab, that I found and read in John chapter 14. But they don't know John chapter 14. You got that? Turn to it. Let me close by saying this. Turn to John chapter 14. I'm going to close because they didn't comprehend this. I have to say this. My Ob said it, so I have to repeat it because they do not know how to separate him from me in the New Testament. So I close by saying this: let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh? Believe also in Mem Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, me, Mem Yod. You believe in Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh? Then believe also in Mem Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. You got that? Okay. Then that's my Ab telling ye. Because he said, you believe in Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh? Then believe also in Mem Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, not me, Mem Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. That's what we telling them. He also said, in my father's house, in my Ab's house, are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Then he said, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Now they don't know who this is speaking. And the same one who said it is speaking to you now. I'm the one who said I will go and come back. And whether I go, ye know, and the way you know. And then those who are Uncle Tom, in verse 5, they said, Lord. See how it's capital L-O-R-D, capital L, lowercase O-R-D? They knew who was there. It wasn't him. Not with that. We know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? Right? Okay, verse 6. That's a euphemism. Mem Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to me, to the Father, but by me. Ab could not be the Father speaking of himself. No one could come by Ab unless by me, Mem Yod, me. If you had known me, Mem Yod, you should have known my Ab also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. Right? You've seen him. And then Philip said to him, show us the Father. It suffices us. Didn't even know it, verse 9. Have I been so long time with you? And yet hast thou not known me, Philip? Mem Yod? He that has seen me, Mem Yod, has seen the Father, because I was with him. From the temple. From the temple. Because the guy was with him. I just told you that from 1979. And how said thou then, show us the Father? Okay, again, I repeat. There he is. I got to show him again. Here. Believe thou not that I am in the Father. I'm in him, and the Father in me. Remember, the word that I speak unto you today, I speak not of myself. He commanded me to come and do this. But the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works, not me. I'm just continuing. He's in me doing the work. So believe me that I'm in the Father and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Come to Miami and see it. Of the place where I prepared. Come to this house, come to this yard and see it for yourself. And you tell me if you think any man could do what I've done here in this house, in this yard. You got to see it to believe it. You see, believe here. Are you a witness?
I'm a witness. Praise you in water.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, not in me. I do believe on me. The work that I do shall he do also. Why on? Because there's going to be a certain time I'm going to come on and see it again. I just told you I'm going to go away. I'm going to go and come back. Don't forget, this was recorded thousands of years ago in Hebrew. Hebrew. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go to my Father. That means I didn't do what I did back then today. I didn't have the technology that I have today here on some planet to do what I did. There was no need for me to do it because you were in your own land, Hebrews. You were in your own land in the Middle East. There was no need for me to take what I'm doing today and make this and make that and to do this and do that because you were over there. So I'm doing greater works today than I did back then. Don't you see it right there, verse 12? Why? Because I go to my Father. How? Why? Because I knew they were going to crucify me. They crucified that body. Just like they want to crucify today. But my Ab wrote a book, several books. And in those books he said, not this time you won't.
Praise you in water.
Come try it. But before you do, I suggest you read Revelation chapter 11 and verses 4, 5, and 6. Before you do. And whatsoever you shall ask in my name. You got to know the name. That will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. But you got to know the name. Now try, you think it's the name Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. That's not even his name. You don't see, you don't know how to get around Revelation chapter 3, verse 12. You think his name is Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Some say Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Yeah. Some say Yahweh. Go ahead. But I encourage you right now that if you are hard me, then keep my commandments. And for those on that level, if you love me, keep my commandments. But some do. But a lot do not. They don't. They have their own shepherd that they want to put in my stead. Anyway, if you love me, if you hard me, keep my commandments. And if you do, I will pray to Mount Og, and he shall give you another comforter from 2,000 years ago that's here today, that he may abide with you forever. Forever. Who is he? Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. Why? They cannot. Why? Because it seeth him not. Neither knoweth him. See, why you don't know him. Even while you don't know him. But ye know him. For he dwelleth with you in the temple, and shall be in you at the temple. But only ye will know him. And I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more. But ye see me. Why? Because I live. Ye shall live also. And I promise you that here ye are. And at that day ye shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved by mine Og. And I will love him and will manifest myself to him. Praise Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. That's verse 21. And as I close, let me leave you with this definition. Here is more truth of this word apology. You ready? Apology, and a few of its definitions. First, by your own dictionary, Merriam-Webster's. In the Merriam-Webster's dictionary since 1828, the online computer software, it says that this word, their word, apology, from left to right, spells A-P-O-L-O-G-Y. It is defined by their source and care of two different meanings. And each of the two are with subsections as follows. Here is number one, subsection A. It is an admission of error or discourtesy accompanied by an expression of regret. like a public apology. That's what he wants me to do. Subsection B, number 1. Apologies, plural, which is an expression of regret for not being able to do something. Now here's number 2, subsection A. Something that is said or written to defend something that other people criticize. I got to repeat that one. Number 2, subsection A, Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, 1828 edition, online computer software says that apology is, I quote, something that is said or written to defend something that other people criticize. End quote. I guess it's safe to say that I'm making that apology. Of what other people have criticized me of being. So I'm keeping my word to this fella. And I apologize. I apologize for something that is said or written to defend something that other people criticize. And subsection B says excuse. An apology is an excuse, in a sense of excuse. Now let me go to another dictionary, the Cambridge Dictionary online, computer software. It said that their word apology, from left to right spelled A-P-O-L-O-G-Y, is defined as C, formal, a formal explanation or defense of a belief or system, especially one that is unpopular, end quote. And this is sure unpopular. So I have to apology. Now let's take a look at the word apology itself. First of all, the word apology is not found in the Bible. So how can I do it? I said the word apology, A-P-O-L-O-G-Y, is not found in the King James Version Bible, or even the NKJV, the New King James Version Bible, or in any of the other 20 Bibles of the English and Spanish idioms. It's not there. A few synonymous words for apology are explanation, which I did, regret, which I do. That they cut the name Mika Yahweh, and made it become Mika, to then make me look false. So I'm not apologizing for them, but I do regret that they cut my name in half and left off Yahweh and left you with Mika. Another synonymous word is confession, okay? Confession. Another synonymous word for apology is confession. I confess. I am Mika Yahweh. I confess. I am Mem Yo Kafidawafe and not Mika. Another synonymous word is excuse. Okay. Then I'm making an excuse. I'm no longer going to follow you. I'm no longer going to read your comments or respond to you. I'm not going to pay any attention to you. Y'all go in your own camps, do what you want to do, be what you want to be, eat what you want to eat, drink what you want to drink, dress how you want to dress, and go where you want to go. That's my excuse. I'm done with you. One last word is justification, and now I'm justified. That's just to name 5. That's all. That's all I got to say to you. I don't care who you think I am or whatever you want me to be. I'm going to follow Mount Av and his commandments. Now you can follow whatever gods you want to, and you can create your own shepherds. I told you this. Now I'm going to say it verbally on video. You can go wherever you want to go. Y'all can create your own Hebrew camps, create your own shepherds. Y'all can pray to the east, west, north, and south. I don't care what you do. You can sit on your thrones. You can dress up in white, black, yellow, whatever you want to wear. Put your head wraps on. Do what you want to do. You can serve whatever gods. You can go vote for Trump or Donald. You could vote for Joe or Biden. Doesn't matter. Go appoint your presidents over you. Go stand in line, sit in the chair, wait 7 hours to go pull your vote. Create your own self. But as for me and my house, see, we're going to serve Yodhe Wavhe. That's what we're going to serve. So you don't see me coming on your post, making comments, and I am not jealous of you. So I'm telling you, I'm giving you a heads up. Don't come on my posts if I talk to my people, because I'm gathering my sheep, with foolishness. I'm not your adversary. You are. You're your own adversary. If you have a problem, then you go pray to Yahweh.
Praise the Lord.
If you believe in Yahweh, then pray to Yahweh, He already told you who He is.
Lord.
You got that? Just leave us alone. Now, if you threaten me again, if you threaten my life, here's what's going to happen to you. Now, pay attention.